Today we're unpacking a recent broadcast from Sailor Today International Maritime Radio.
Yes, a really interesting one.
Right. And our mission is to explore how India's Directorate General of Shipping, uh, DG Shipping, is modernizing the seafaring profession by tackling bureaucratic stress.
It's a massive undertaking.
It really is.
Yeah.
To actually grasp the stakes here, I want you to imagine being physically trapped at your workplace for months. And suddenly you realize your driver's license, your passport, and your professional degree are all about to expire at the exact same time.
I mean, the clock is ticking on the very paperwork that legally allows you to earn a living.
Yeah.
But you can't just walk into a local government office to renew it because, well, you are literally in the middle of the ocean.
It's basically a nightmare scenario. So to fix this, DG Shipping launched a dedicated helpline and an email support system.
Right, which is huge.
Yeah, it's aimed at faster grievance resolution for, quote, ongoing regional challenges. But let me push back here for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, an email support system sounds incredibly basic to land dwellers.
Yeah.
And internet at sea is notoriously unreliable, right? Isn't this the difference between keeping a career and losing it? How accessible is an email helpline to an isolated seafarer?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, this digital line isn't just relying on a seafarer using spotty Wi-Fi during their off shift.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's actually a direct conduit for the ship's master and local port agents to bypass an incredibly slow legacy system.
Ah, that makes sense.
Right, because historically, maritime bureaucracy operated entirely on physical forms. You know, you mailed a document to a regional office and just waited in the dark.
Wow.
So this email system shifts the dynamic to an active, immediate response network, one that bypasses the physical mailroom entirely.
Opening up that direct line of communication must have had a pretty immediate unintended consequence, though.
Oh, definitely.
Once you give people a direct way to complain, you instantly see where the system is breaking down. And the overwhelming panic coming through those emails was undoubtedly about, expiring paperwork.
Yeah, that sheer volume of real-time feedback likely forced the administration to basically stop the bleeding.
Right.
Which brings us to DGS Circular 17 of 2026.
The big one.
Exactly. This measure grants a 3-month extension for critical documents, specifically certificates of competency, certificates of proficiency, and STCW documents.
Wait, let's quickly define those for the listener.
Sure.
So STCW stands for Standards of Training, Certification, and Watchkeeping. These certificates, along with the Certificate of Competency, aren't just extra credit, right? They are the legal lifeblood of a mariner's career.
Right. Without them, international port authorities can and will legally detain a ship.
That is wild.
I know. A physical piece of paper expiring used to mean a seafarer was stranded, and the ship was literally grounded. So Circular 17 ensures employment continuity by legally validating those expiring credentials for another 3 months.
It relieves the immense pressure caused by all those operational and travel disruptions.
Yep, precisely.
So it's basically a universal snooze button on life-altering admin, just so the global supply chain keeps moving.
That is a great way to put it.
But temporary extensions are really just a Band-Aid. How is this system actually being fixed long-term?
Yeah.
Because you can't just keep extending deadlines forever.
You can't. And what's fascinating here is how they are overcoming the jurisdictional complexities of international maritime law.
Okay, how so?
They are fundamentally changing their infrastructure by shifting to a centralized online digital platform for all official communications and services.
Wow, huge shift.
Yeah, they're now actively publishing certificate of competency, dispatch lists, and exam updates online, which drastically improves transparency. Seafarers actually know their exact status now.
So what does this all mean for the listener? Even if you aren't navigating the high seas, this is basically a masterclass in how a legacy industry can use digital transformation to prioritize its workforce's welfare. Right.
I completely agree. It represents a permanent shift from opaque, anxiety-inducing paperwork to streamlined digital transparency.
Right, because in the old system, a port state control officer in somewhere like Rotterdam would demand to see a physical Indian document with a fresh ink stamp.
Yeah.
And if the mail was delayed, well, the seafarer was penalized.
Exactly. But now that same officer in Rotterdam can instantly ping India's centralized digital platform.
Oh, wow.
The transparency is immediate. It totally removes the friction of cross-border paper trails that have historically resisted digitization, simply because different countries demanded different physical verification standards.
Right. These initiatives show a clear commitment to enhancing seafarer welfare and improving maritime service delivery.
Yeah, it's not just a standard IT upgrade. Taking an industry that operates in the most remote, disconnected parts of the globe and finally bringing its administrative support into the modern era has massive implications.
It's untangling a deeply entrenched web of international bureaucracy so that the people moving our global economy aren't penalized for logistical hurdles completely out of their control.
Well said.
Which leaves you, the listener, with a final thought to ponder. As massive legacy industries like global shipping finally digitize and centralize their local certifications, how long will it be before international workers adopt a single, borderless digital passport for their credentials?